Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to talk about some stocks that I think should be on your watch list. The first one is going to be Home Depot. Just giving a lifelong chart of Home Depot, it has been very bullish this entire time for the last 20 years. But what I want you to notice is we're finally starting to get some pullback here. This is the 5-year chart where you can see it's very bullish, pulled back to 260s, now back up to 400. Now recently, because they have news that they're trying to perform an acquisition with this company, it is definitely causing some selling pressure. Stockholders don't like it when new CEOs are making moves, and that's exactly what's happening. But I think this might position Home Depot in a good area to keep going up over the long term. Home Depot has been very successful, and as you can see, it's very bullish. But recently, we had a pullback in the last 3 months from 400 all the way. Let's just do the math real quick. 400 all the way down to 356. Let me just try that again because it wasn't showing the percentage gain. But if you look, it's about a 10% pullback. So a 10% pullback on Home Depot is starting to offer entry points for a dollar cost average perspective. Now, am I looking to buy immediately? Not yet, but I think this is worth being on your watch list because we are hitting some areas of support. And I'll show you the news after this so you can see. But just looking at the chart, we can draw some areas of consolidation where there are some potential buyers coming in. You can see that you have resistance here, turn into support here, and then now you are hitting this first zone right here. Anywhere in the 350 range, I can understand why long-term buyers dollar cost averaging at this area. So for me, maybe with some of the YouTube profits, we'll start trying to chip in a little bit and buy around 350. What I'm really looking at is I'm hoping we can get a little bit further drawdown to about right here at 336 to 340. That's really where I want to start my position. I want Home Depot to come down another 5%. And instead of hitting this zone to buy long term, I want to buy in this zone. This is where I want to buy. So we'll see. Maybe it'll start to create that nice little bear pattern and then start selling off into this zone around 340. Another 5 to 6% down, and I'll start to look. But you have to look at the other factors. Look at the 1-year chart. Look at the RSI. RSI right now is trading at 37. So when you're at 37 right here, it is entering an oversold moment. Home Depot has been very bullish over the long term. When you get these big pullbacks up, there is a potential just nice reversal back to retest the 400 level. But we'll have to see as it goes. So for me, I have my alert set at 350. And then I'm going to start dollar cost averaging in between that 345 to 340 range. So I'm using Fidelity website. Under analyst ratings, we can get research reports. And just to get an idea, what are the professionals thinking? The Ford Equity Research, their standard opinion is rated as a buy. This is April 5th, 2024. So very soon, very recent, they've been updating this. The ISS EVA says underperform. So they think that Home Depot is going to underperform compared to the benchmark, meaning that it's going to sell off even more. Then you have Argus Research, quantitative has them as neutral, Jefferson neutral, and then McLean as neutral. So everybody's kind of in between right now. You have one buy, one underperform, and the rest are neutral right now. So for me, I want to see what the news is exactly showing for this sell-off. And right now here, you can see Home Depot, they're talking about how it's making a big move, but it's going to acquire SRS Distribution for $18.25 billion. That's going to cause Home Depot to have some debt. And when a company makes a new acquisition like this, especially with a new CEO, Home Depot has a new CEO, Ted Decker, and they believe that SRS is an industry leader with a proven track record of profitable growth across the vertical. So Home Depot thinks this is a good move. They believe it's going to increase their market cap over time. So they're going to go for it and try to do this acquisition. But shareholders are always shaky at first, so this might be a long-term buying opportunity for us. And last but not least, I just want you to be aware, Home Depot has their earnings confirmed for Tuesday, May 14, 2024. So we still have over a month until their earnings. We'll see if Home Depot starts rising up in anticipation of their earnings report. All right, so anybody that watches my channel, you know I day trade Tesla, but yesterday Tesla had some news that caused it to sell off all the way from 170 all the way down to 160 because there was news about their $25,000 EV car that they were going to make, that they were going to just scrap the idea. That was a rumor apparently. Elon Musk debunked that. And then you had a nice run up from 160 all the way back up to 168, where it then just recovered in the after hours and went up to 173. So we need to keep an eye on this because Tesla has been holding this 160 level for quite some time. It keeps battling it and it keeps winning the battle. But you just have to be careful because if Tesla breaks this level this week, you're going to see some heavy downside. Personally, I think this could be a potential triple bottom. Obviously, your stop loss has to be at 160. If it breaks 160, it's going to fall hard and fast. But as you can see in this level, it bounced here twice, twice, bounced here a third time, bounced here a fourth time. If it keeps retesting this level, it's not going to hold. It's just going to keep, it's eventually going to break through. So just be very careful. But this could potentially offer a good buying opportunity to go long. But you have to follow a stop loss on this because it seems like we have a nice uptrend here. If we can break out of this and get above 184, once we get above 184, it's off to the races. We'll be able to get to like 200, I believe. It's just getting through that resistance point because it's clear that there is resistance at this level because you can see it right here. There's all resistance right in this level. So right now, we can't call Tesla bullish because now it's trading in this zone from 160 to 184 still, and it is making lower lows. So unless next week turns to be positive in anticipation of earnings, because they have earnings, I believe, April 17th, we'll just have to be careful and see how they're doing. But stop loss is going to be around 160, trying to make entries in between. And if we can get above 184, break through, and then retest the 184 and then make a higher move up, then I can see why going long on Tesla. But let's just keep an eye on it. Watch that 160 level, resistance at 184. And if you can, try to get some scalps in between. But definitely more riskier trade because this chart is very difficult. Fidelity's outlook on Tesla. So we go under analyst ratings. As you can see, very bearish, 0.4 out of 10. With so many opinions out there, choosing the right stocks for your portfolio can be overwhelming. This rating does some of the hard work for you by consolidating up to 8 independent firm opinions into a single rating. So this sums up 8 analyst opinions about Tesla. Everybody thinks it's going to sell off. So that's what you're going against if you're going to go long. So you're going against the trend, and there's nothing wrong with that. But just make sure you follow the stop loss if you're going to go into buying Tesla, or just have a long-term plan. All right, guys, let's spend 2 minutes on Starbucks. This is a stock that I've been accumulating in my taxable portfolio long-term. I have a few shares, basically around like $90 or $88. But so far, they have trended down from 107 back down to $87. This is a company that I'm going to dollar cost average into. So I wanted to give them a little awareness on the video. So as you can see, they're down 20%. They've been selling off. And for me, this looks pretty bad right now. This is heavy red selling. And for me, I'm just going to buy them long term, collect that dividend, buy them long term. I like them as a company as a whole. And right now, there is clear support around this area. As you can see, you have some resistance here, and then right here is your support. So let me lower this so for more perspective here. So I really believe that if we can wait, and I'm going to dollar cost average more, but we can look around $80 to start buying some more Starbucks. Because you had here, it went under, held, resistance, and then held up, and this is where we're going. I'm not going to be, I want to accumulate shares for the long term. I'm not going to wait for like $65. I'm going to continue just to dollar cost average, and the lower it goes, the better I feel. Because this is a long-term company, I'm not going to try to pick the bottom on this. But this is a company that I think is worth looking at because in the last 3 months, just selling off from, 20% from the 107 down, but just in the last 3 months, we're from 186, all the way down to 87. It's still a very nice pullback, 12%. And from a long-term perspective, you're looking at the RSI at 30. I'm hoping we can eventually get a nice turnaround, but as time goes by and the stock is selling off, I want to accumulate shares, and I want to buy when the stock is low, not high. So for me, I feel happy buying a little bit at a time, a couple $100s, and calling it a day. But I do believe that there's potential for support to be in this area right here, specifically the $80 to $83 range because of this consolidation, this consolidation, this consolidation, and then if you pull this out even longer, you could see it right here. Really $76 to $80. So that's what I'm looking at with Starbucks. When it comes to the analyst ratings of Starbucks, we can see that it is neutral 4 out of 10 out of the 8 independent opinions. And just looking on the right side, Ford has a neutral, ISS EVA underperform, meaning that they're going to underperform the benchmark of the similar stocks that are surrounding it. And you have one buy rating, the rest are neutral. So for me, I just like to get an idea of what they're looking at. This doesn't mean it's going to persuade my decision, but I just want to see what are other people thinking when it comes to these companies. Last but not least is McDonald's. As you can see, we are getting some selling pressure. It has sold from 300, can't break this level, coming down to 260, about a 12% decline. Over the last month, you can see it's really been declining. RSI has been 30, so it's oversold. But I don't think it's a buying opportunity yet. I think we need to be a little more patient, set the alerts. Let's see if it can break 250. If we can break that 250 level, then I'm going to get very interested. I want to see McDonald's sell off all the way down to 250. Alerts get set off, so 6% more needs to come down. Then start dollar cost averaging in, because there are going to be buyers around this area. Buyers are going to look at this and say, this is too good of an opportunity. It's McDonald's. They've been around forever. If it comes down even more, RSI is going to be down to like 18. So we need another, 16 points to come down. Break that 250. We can start looking at it long term. McDonald's is a company that has been around forever. And just looking at them, it's always had this nice bullish trend. But you can see with this, they actually have a trend channel, which is nice. So watch. Boom, there it is. There's your trend channel. Yeah, is it perfect? It's not perfect. You could argue that the trend channel should probably start from here and go like this. And notice your entry is around 255 if it were to sell off. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you can see. If we go there, it would be around this area right here. 255 is where you'd start seeing some support, just because you have this uptrend coming. So definitely something to keep an eye on. This is on my watch list, but I'm not going to buy it yet. I'm waiting to see where Mickey D's is going to go. We'll see if Mickey D's can get to like 255, maybe start accumulating some shares. If it breaks 250, I'm definitely going to start accumulating and then just build a position there. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. So if you were wondering where I'm getting these stocks from, I just went under news and research. I clicked research. Then I clicked on watch list, and then here you can see we have all the stocks that I've been starting to list on here. And I'm watching their 52-week range, so it gives me an idea of which stocks are starting to underperform and which ones I believe that could be potentially long-term buys. Looking at the community tab, we can see here I wrote a comment on is it time to buy SQQ, and it looks like the votes are pretty even right now on buying and selling. It's at 50% on each one. And then I wrote is Tesla buying opportunity 5 days ago, and people are more bullish on it. We have 38 votes, 53%. So pretty cool. And if you decide to become a member and just, support the channel just because you appreciate it, then you'll get these community posts as well. And then 3 weeks ago, we spoke about, is the market overbought? Everybody believes it pretty much, 72%. So that's where we're at right now.